Time to consult your mood ring. You're going to need all the help you can get. Greetings, Earthbrains. Melvin here, broadcasting from the planet Soralunia, where even our historians still can't explain why you humans thought shag carpeting, fondue fountains, and rotary phones were peak innovation. Welcome to 1970s General Knowledge Trivia, a glorious decade where Watergate leaked, streakers sprinted, disco balls hypnotized, and every appliance in your house came in the glorious color named Harvest Gold. So prepare yourselves. I'm about to test your ability to recall world-changing events, political scandals, bizarre inventions, and all the questionable lifestyle choices your species made before Google existed. Let's find out if your brain power is grooving, or if it's more like an 8-track tape, jammed, fuzzy, and absolutely not aging well. Let's begin. Level 1. Easier than assembling a fondue set. Name the chunky wooden footwear embraced by both hippies and disco fans. Clogs. During the 1970s, what nation became virtually unbeatable in table tennis? China. Public roller rinks turned into social hotspots during which 1970s craze? Roller disco. Identify the hand-powered kitchen tool that squeezed citrus without using electricity. Manual citrus press. A 1973 film about a young girl's demonic possession terrified audiences. What movie was it? The Exorcist. 70s style went wide. Identify the pant design known for dramatic lower leg flare. Bell bottoms. A single word served as a greeting, a farewell, and a cultural statement in the 70s. Name it. Peace. Young Europeans backpacking abroad helped fuel a growing enthusiasm for which beverage trend? Wine appreciation boom. Finish the slogan. You're not fully clean unless you're blank clean. Zestfully. Zest soap. Name the 1979 Douglas Adams novel that launched a comedic sci-fi phenomenon. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Richie Cunningham's Milwaukee family became TV icons. Name their sitcom. Happy Days. Which mascot did A&W release to the public in 1974? The Great Root Bear. Name the Japanese-made, posable, long-tailed plush animal toys launched in 1974. Monchichi. Correct! You just beat this round like a Pong champ in expert mode. What 1979 film depicted the Vietnam War through Captain Willard's mission? Apocalypse Now. Clothing and backpacks everywhere carried one oversized symbol of anti-war culture. Name the trend. Peace symbol craze. What was the title of the first Stephen King movie adaptation released in the 1970s? Carrie. Which city was the first to host the Summer Olympics in the 1970s? Montreal, Canada. What textured wallpaper featuring metallic highlights became trendy? Foil wallpaper, and sometimes the flocked wallpaper. Drugstores of the decade commonly sold a slightly medieval tool for shaving calluses. Identify it. Callus shaver, corn and callus razor, or sometimes a corn plane. Paleontologists found a hominid skeleton, Australopithecus afarensis, in 1974. What did they name it? Lucy. The 1978 Indy 500 was won by what driver? Al Unser Sr. John Cleese's early fame grew out of which BBC sketch show? Monty Python's Flying Circus. Baseball fans dubbed which MLB powerhouse the Big Red Machine? Cincinnati Reds. Name the Libyan leader of the 1970s who promoted his so-called Third Universal Theory. Muammar Gaddafi. The leader who guided Egypt through the Yom Kippur War later signed a peace deal with Israel. Name him. Anwar Sadat. Level 2. Not quite a disco inferno, but I am smelling smoke from some of you. Back in 1974, a low-budget horror film introduced a chainsaw-wielding masked killer. Identify that movie. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Who became US president after Richard Nixon resigned in 1974? Gerald Ford. Clint Eastwood's iconic renegade cop made his debut in this 1971 crime thriller. Dirty Harry. The historic 1971 Fight of the Century ended with which fighter defeating Muhammad Ali? Joe Frazier. LAPD partners Reed and Malloy patrolled TV screens throughout the 70s. In what show? Adam 12. What was the name of the TV producer behind the sitcoms All in the Family, The Jeffersons, and Maude? Norman Lear. Which horse won the Triple Crown in 1973? Secretariat. What video format did Sony release in 1975 to compete with VHS? Betamax. In what year did the US Senate approve the 26th Amendment to lower the voting age to 18? (1971). Who directed the 1973 film American Graffiti? George Lucas. Launched in 1973, what was the first space station owned and operated by NASA? Skylab. Nice job! Your neurons are hotter than a malfunctioning lava lamp. Which famous drummer released a solo album called Goodnight Vienna in 1974? Ringo Starr. The Raiders' Super Bowl XI victory in 1977 came under which legendary head coach? John Madden. In March of 1978, what supertanker disaster off the coast of France became one of history's worst oil spills? Amoco Cadiz oil spill. Identify the African conflict that wrapped up in 1979 with Tanzania's victory over Idi Amin. Uganda-Tanzania War. A brief, bizarre hobby had people sprinting nude through public places in the mid-70s. Name the fad. Streaking. Name the 1975 film credited with ushering in the era of summer blockbusters. Jaws. Who was the first US president to be impeached but not removed from office? Richard Nixon. After a 1977 coup, which Pakistani president was later executed? Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. What Iraqi dictator's half-brother, Barzan Ibrahim al-Tikriti, oversaw mass torture and killings in the late 1970s? Saddam Hussein. Name the Chinese leader who kick-started sweeping economic reforms in 1978. Deng Xiaoping. What is the title of the controversial 1974 non-fiction political book written by Victor Marchetti, a former special assistant to the Deputy Director of the Central Intelligence Agency? The CIA and the Cult of Intelligence. At the 1976 Winter Olympics, which Norwegian cross-country skier took home both gold and silver? Ivar Formo. Kids loved this toy, where water jets pushed colourful rings onto pegs. What was it called? Waterfall ring toss. Early home computers often relied on which magnetic tape storage device? Cassette tape drive. Level 3. As unforgiving as a shag carpet wine stain. The group responsible for the 1972 Munich Olympic massacre was known as what? Black September Organization, BSO. A toxic dioxin release devastated northern Italy in 1976. What industrial disaster does this refer to? Seveso disaster. Suburban couples involved in the swinger culture in the 70s sometimes traded partners at parties called what? Key parties. Oceanographers exploring the Galapagos Rift in 1972 uncovered something surprising. Massive hydrothermal vents known as what? Black smoker vents. Garcia Marquez's 1975 tale of a dictatorial Caribbean ruler is known as what? The Autumn of the Patriarch. The men's ice hockey gold medal at the 1976 Winter Olympics went to which nation? Soviet Union. Name the radical West German group behind a wave of 1970s kidnappings and bombings. Red Army faction, Baader-Meinhof Group. A 70s ad campaign insisted everyday footwear has gone mainstream. Name the sneaker brand proclaiming it. Kinney. The Cincinnati Reds powerhouse lineup had a standout catcher leading the roster. Who was he? Johnny Bench. Point to the Canadian leader whose influence shaped much of the nation's political landscape throughout the 1970s. Pierre Elliott Trudeau. Identify the military figure who toppled Salvador Allende during Chile's 1973 coup. Augusto Pinochet. Le Mans saw one driver score 3 consecutive wins from 1976 to 78. Make the racing legend. Jackie Ickes. What blinking, musical, electronic handheld game device was released by Parker Brothers in 1978? Merlin, the Electronic Wizard. Which Back to Nature serial hired outdoorsman Ewell Givens for a commercial in the 70s? Grape nuts. Incorrect! Are you sure your brain isn't stuck in an 8-track loop? Name the drawing toy that produced mesmerizing spirals with gears and pens. Spirograph. A manicurist named Madge turned this dish soap slogan into pop culture gold. Identify the brand. Palmolive, you're soaking in it. This NFL team's fearsome defensive line earned the nickname Purple People Eaters. Minnesota Vikings. Students flocked to which brand of pocket calculators during the 1970s tech boom? Texas Instruments. What 1970s conflict in Northern Ireland produced severe violence and unrest? The Troubles. Two housewives invented this 70s craft kit that consisted of polystyrene sheets that are cut and then heated. What was it called? Shrinky-dinks. What style of coat was often belted and made of plush faux fur? Afghan coat or penny lane coat. Name the Soviet cosmonauts who set a record of 175 days on the Salyut 6 station in 1979. Vladimir Liakov and Valery Ryumin. Entertaining at home took off as many households installed which social gathering item? Basement bar setup. What was the name of the serial killer who terrorized New York City in 1977, taunting police with the alias Son of Sam? David Berkowitz. Which Southern pie brand was the supplier for the hot pies available at McDonald's starting in the late 60s into the 70s? Bama pies. This 1970s trivia adventure has ended, humans. You may now safely remove your platform shoes, extinguish your 8th cigarette, put that mood ring back in the junk drawer, and stop pretending shag carpet was ever acceptable. Thanks for joining me, the only being in the galaxy brave enough to relive your decade of disco and despair. Until the next quiz, like, subscribe, and keep your brains polished, like your avocado-coloured kitchen appliances. Melvin, out! Need a break to reboot your tiny processor? Or are you brave enough to click into the next trivia trap? Go on, I dare you.